What do you do when the person you've built your entire world with reveals they've been living a double life in it? The screen of her phone glowed in the dark of our bedroom at 2 a.m., a tiny, toxic rectangle of light. She'd left it on the nightstand, unlocked, a mistake she'd never made before. My hand trembled as I reached for it, a cold dread coiling in my stomach. I wasn't a snooper. I'd never been that guy. But the late nights, the hushed phone calls, the sudden distance, they had carved a hollow space inside me. The first message I saw was from a man named Mark. It wasn't the words that broke me. It was the picture that came with it. Jessica, my wife, laughing in a hotel room, wearing nothing but his dress shirt. It was the casual intimacy, the look in her eyes I hadn't seen directed at me in years. That single image shattered everything. If you genuinely enjoy our stories, please subscribe to the channel. Tell us where you're from and what time it is right now. It's always fascinating to know how far our story flows. For weeks I had felt a subtle shift in the tectonic plates of our marriage. It started with her working late, blaming deadlines at her marketing firm in downtown Chicago. Then came the new clothes, the expensive lingerie she never wore for me. When I'd ask, she'd just smile, that cool, dismissive smile. Just treating myself, honey. Don't I deserve it? The humiliation was a physical thing, a hot flush that crept up my neck whenever she'd glance at her phone and quickly hide the screen. Our friends noticed. At a dinner party on North Clark Street, our friend Sarah pulled me aside. "Is everything okay with you and Jess?" she'd asked, her eyes full of pity. I'd lied, of course. A tight, unconvincing, never better. The discovery was a slow, agonizing burn. I started paying attention. A receipt from the Hotel Palomar on State Street tucked into her purse. Dated for a day, she was supposedly at a work conference. Phone records showing dozens of late-night calls to a number I didn't recognize. I called it once from a payphone, my heart hammering against my ribs. A man answered, his voice smooth and confident. "Mark speaking." I hung up, bile rising in my throat. Jessica became a stranger in our home. She was cold, manipulative, her every word a carefully constructed lie. She'd gaslight me, making me feel crazy for questioning her. "You're being so paranoid," she'd scoff, rolling her eyes. "Maybe you're the one with the problem." They felt untouchable. I saw them once by accident. I was driving home down Lakeshore Drive and saw her car parked outside a high-end steakhouse. Through the window, I saw her and Mark in a booth, his hand casually resting on her thigh. They were laughing, radiating a smug, impenetrable glow. They looked like they owned the world, while my world was collapsing. That night, I broke. I sat in my car in a dark parking garage, the city lights blurring through my tears, and I let the pain wash over me. The loyal, loving husband was gone. In his place was a man hollowed out by betrayal, a ghost haunting the ruins of his own life. But as the tears dried, something else took root in the emptiness. A cold, clear, and ruthless resolve. The breakdown was over. The strategy was just beginning. I became a meticulous archivist of my own destruction. I hired a private investigator, a grizzled ex-cop who knew the city's secrets. He gave me everything. Photos of them entering the hotel, copies of their romantic dinner receipts, even a recording of a conversation where Jessica laughed about how oblivious I was. I opened a new bank account and quietly started moving my savings. I met with the best divorce attorney in Chicago, a shark named Ms. Albright, in her sterile office overlooking Millennium Park. I laid out the evidence. She didn't flinch. She just nodded slowly and said, "We're not just going to divorce her, we're going to dismantle her." The trap was set. Jessica's parents were celebrating their 40th anniversary with a huge party at a lavish event space in Lincoln Park. Her entire family, all their friends, her colleagues, everyone who mattered in her carefully curated world would be there. It was the perfect stage. The day of the party, I was the perfect husband. I smiled, I mingled, I even gave a toast to her wonderful parents. Jessica was radiant, basking in the attention, completely unaware of the guillotine hanging over her head. At the peak of the celebration, as her father was giving a tearful speech about family and integrity, I nodded to the event coordinator. The lights dimmed. A large projector screen behind the stage flickered to life. It started with a photo of Jessica and Mark kissing in the hotel parking lot. A collective gasp went through the room. Then another photo, them holding hands at dinner.
Oh,
then the hotel receipt. Then a text message blown up for all to see. He has no idea. Can't wait to be with you tonight. The room was dead silent, the only sound Jessica's choked sob. Her father stopped his speech, his face a mask of confusion and horror. I had the PI's audio recording queued up. I let it play. Jessica's voice filled the room, dripping with contempt for me, followed by her and Mark laughing. Her mother started to cry. Her boss just stared, stone-faced. She was exposed, ruined in front of everyone she had ever tried to impress. She turned to me, her face pale, her eyes wide with a terror I had never seen. I just looked at her, my expression completely blank, and gave a slight, almost imperceptible shrug. The aftermath was brutal and efficient. Ms. Albright used the infidelity clause in our prenup, along with the mountain of evidence, to leave her with nothing. Her firm fired her for the scandal. Her family, deeply shamed, cut her off. Mark, the smug affair partner, disappeared the moment things got messy, refusing to take her calls. She was left with no money, no job, no friends, and no family. A social and financial pariah. I sold the house on the north side, the one we had built together, and moved to a quiet apartment downtown. I never saw her again, but I heard she moved to some small, forgotten town in another state, working a menial job. The empire she thought she was building was nothing but a pile of ash. Sometimes, late at night, I sit by the window and look out at the Chicago skyline, a profound, echoing silence where a life used to be. The love is gone, the hate is gone, and all that remains is the quiet, haunting knowledge that I was the one who burned it all to the ground. The end.